And for Leinster, it is as you were after the famous win over Toulouse. Lock Malcolm O'Kelly, Ireland's most capped player, reaches another landmark today and plays his 100th game for his province, as does winger Shane Horgan. Felipe Contepomi is the competition's leading point scorer this season, and 30 of his total of 125 have come from tries, which shows exactly how he, O'Driscoll, Darcy and co have been playing their rugby. The Munster supporters and the men that they are going to be cheering on. The late call on scrum half Peter Stringer has been made, and he plays. A knock in the captain's run yesterday, but he's come through the warm-up. The pack had already lost prop Marcus Horan to injury. Federico Pucciarello was drafted in earlier in the week. The other changes from the quarter-final win over Perpignan here are at centre and wing. John Kelly moves into 13 with Barry Murphy's continued absence. Anthony Horgan is out wide. The replacements, Eric Miller offers the experience for Leinster, a man who will call it a day at the end of this season. For Munster, Stephen Keogh is Leinster bound, in effect to replace Miller, but today he is plotting the downfall of his team-to-be. Now a salute for the dignitaries here today. The President Mary McAleese, the Taoiseach Bertie Ahern also present. Declan Kidney back with Munster, was coaching Leinster in this competition last season. Every sport has a nearly team, and Munster fulfills that role for rugby. But the chance to change history is once again being presented to a Munster side. For 8 years in a row in the knockout stages, there could not be a more motivated body of men in this sport of ours as they look for their first Heineken Cup title. And if it were needed today, there is the extra incentive of this first all-Ireland meeting in this competition. Both sides know the loser not only goes out of the cup, they will never hear the end of it. A shared rivalry, a shared European ambition. For Leinster, their first aim is merely to get to a final, something they've never achieved before. But don't be fooled by that being the level of their ambition. Make no mistake, Leinster believe they can win this cup this year. The rest of Europe believes they can win it too, on the evidence of the Toulouse game.
Well, you know, Munster have lost 2 finals, and that's agony against Northampton and Leicester in tight circumstances, in controversial circumstances. But I don't think in the history of the Heineken Cup any defeat will hurt any team as much as if Munster lose to Leinster today. They have history on their side, but Leinster have Brian O'Driscoll, and they have a quite mesmeric run of form going into this game. For Leinster, it is a chance to lay the myth of Munster magic. For Munster, it is a chance to take themselves within touching distance. We saw Biarritz yesterday. I think the winners of today's semi-final will lift the Heineken Cup. It's that big a game.
The red of Munster, the blue of Leinster, the green of Ireland. Nervous waiting for not only the players, but their partisan and passionate supporters as well.
Miles, I haven't picked up that flag yet that says Munster by the grace, Ireland by the grace of God, Munster, Ireland by birth, Munster by the grace of God. It travels around Europe with them. It sums up Munster's provincial rugby.
A battle of rugby minds and bodies that goes back to 1877. Leinster and Munster steeped in sporting combat. They pause in the tunnel, and we should pause as well to listen to this. this old stadium, preparing in its current guise to say farewell. What a way to build the goodbye with a day like this.
Paul O'Connell, the best forward in Britain and Ireland. Brian O'Driscoll, the best back in Britain and Ireland. Leinster with the best backline in this tournament, and Munster with O'Callaghan alongside O'Connell, probably the best pack. What a contrast, what a day.
We are talking about potential competition winners here, and for many, as Stuart was saying, possible cup final favourites. But what a hurdle to overcome before a final shot at glory can ever be contemplated. Referee today, by the way, is Jules Hughes from France, and he will be calling on all his experience. He took charge of the final in 2002. Munster fans remember that day for the hand of Neil Back in Cardiff. Of course, we are back in Cardiff this May. Bear its weight. And today, Ireland awaits. Europe watches on and revels in one of the great rugby days of all time. They say it is the biggest rugby event in Ireland for years. Some argue right the way through the history of Irish rugby. Bold claims, but at the moment it certainly feels that way. Munster start the match. Ronan O'Gara's kick-off, lost by O'Kelly, taken by O'Callaghan. Stringer, O'Gara. John Kelly gets his first touch in the outside centre role. Stringer again. This is good from Munster, given the early chance from the kickoff. Stringer brings it this way. O'Gara into midfield. South African Holston. What a tackle. O'Gara takes it again. So important the start, and the referee's going to give a penalty to Munster.
It's all down to the restart there. If you have the ball, the opposition can do nothing. And O'Gara put the kick up. Mal O'Kelly, so important for Leinster today. Really should have made that ball his. He wasn't under great pressure. He lost it, and you see the first man there, Donica O'Callaghan, and Brian O'Driscoll. There's a talking to from Jules Hughes, but this is a very significant start because the Leinster pack have to be better than this. Munster are going to tear into them. O'Kelly misses that, and O'Callaghan, who looked steely-eyed coming off the bus, wins that ball, and then Munster go through a couple of phases, and Ronan O'Gara gets the dream opportunity to make it 3-0.
Nobody has scored more points in this competition this season than Contepomi, but in all time, nobody has scored more in the Heineken Cup than O'Gara. 3-0, Munster lead. It is the perfect start.
Well, I just look out at this blue sky and this wonderful atmosphere, Miles, and I can't believe I'm in Dublin. There's so much red. It's like a magnified Thomond Park here. And that is exactly what O'Connell, O'Gara and all these Munster boys who play here so often for Ireland will want to do. Turn it into a Munster oasis.
Of course, it is not perfect for the men in blue as we stand. And there we saw O'Connell with his power. O'Gara behind Hickey. Big names running through both teams here. Giants of Irish rugby. Here's Payne, one of the overseas contingent. Came off Easterby, referee looks at it, waves it on as it falls for Munster. Stringer. And again, no signs of any injury thus far from the Munster scrum half. Good take there by Pucciarello, but he's been penalised. Or his side have been penalised.
Well, Josu's telling Paul O'Connell there that rucking is a backwards motion, not the stamp. And here you can see, as this ball goes in, O'Connell, bang, down goes that right boot. Meaning business there. Missed touch, that's a bad error.
The early mistakes being made by Leinster, not by Munster. Sean Payne has belted that one. The former Natal man, now very much a Munster man.
Well, that's so important as well. Sean Payne hasn't played in many games bigger than this, and for him, there are going to be nerves, and those nerves are settled when you send a rocket 60 metres upfield. But for Leinster, they're making a couple of early errors. It's a good start for Munster.
Good throw from Brian Blaney, picking out Bryce Williams. Driscoll tries to carry forward for Leinster, who need to start to get into this match. We're still, of course, a long time to go, but Munster are setting the tempo. Kelly, now 32 years of age, such a servant. Here's the much younger Dowling, and what a good season he's had. Stringer, there's some space in front of him, and then he got absolutely clobbered.
Jowett.
And those tackles from Jowett have been there all season. That's an interesting pass from O'Gara. It's been picked up by Wallace. Play on, says the referee. Wallace just seemed to stop there. Leinster initially were thinking about the interception. It was mighty close to that. Here's O'Connell.
Looked like a knock-on from Wallace, but Munster have early momentum, haven't they?
Well, Driscoll and his colleagues were convinced it was a knock-on. They can't believe that the whistle didn't go. Flannery takes it round the short side too. And Munster are pounding away here at Leinster. Going forward clearly. Oh, but there's a penalty. It was going to be a Munster put-in.
Oh, it's combustible here. It is warm outside. Josu's has a big job. He's one of the best in the world at the moment, and I think you might need one today.
When you blow my whistle, you must stop play.
I did not hear.
But you must be careful, okay?
Sorry, I can't hear.
Okay, 10 meters, please. That's okay.
Leamy can't hear. O'Connell, O'Callaghan and Foley alongside in that pack. If they can't hear, they can have another kind of physical impact.
We had a spark in Biarritz versus Bath yesterday. We got a conflagration coming off here. Now, there is a knock-on there, and Leinster were upset, and rightly so, but they've got the ball back.
Whistle's gone. Montepone will be pulled back. It wasn't straight. Wallace himself thought it was a knock-on. He stopped, didn't he? He couldn't quite believe that the referee had not caught a hold to play, but he didn't. You have to play to the whistle.
What's interesting as well, Miles, there, from that line-out, we saw Sean Payne with a lovely kick earlier. Brian Blaney, inexperienced player, not straight early on. Pressure points being applied, and Munster are probing at the moment.
Stringer again. O'Gara. Another fizzing pass into midfield. Oh, it might open up for Kelly. Doesn't. Just when you feel there might be a little bit of space, the tackling and the commitment is such that space quickly disappears. Horgan makes another big tackle. O'Kelly involved again. It's coming back to Stringer. Through comes O'Kelly. He says the ball was out. Stringer says, well, it's still mine anyway. Here's Kelly to Anthony Foley. Nobody's played more games in the Heineken Cup than Anthony Foley, but it's another penalty offence. Holding on this time.
Number 3.
Very good organised defence from Leinster.
Number 3, please.
In a lot of the initial contacts, Munster are getting the nudge, but Leinster are getting men there and shepherding the ball carrier into a cocoon and getting the penalties. But this is a pretty physical start to the game. It really is. Is that Kelly at the moment? Here's the carry, Anthony Foley going straight into O'Driscoll, and that's Brian O'Driscoll in a nutshell defensively. There is no better back row forward in Britain or Ireland, and he also happens to be the best centre. That's the mark of the player. We talk about O'Driscoll's flair and what he can do running onto the ball. That try he scored against Toulouse. But I tell you, when he has a bad day, he still defends like a trooper, and that's the mark of a great player.
I think anybody that has seen O'Driscoll play over the years would clearly already put him in that category of great that belongs to so few, or truly belongs to so few in any sport. It is a vastly overused word, but O'Driscoll and all his greatness required today. Irvin Dempsey with the clearance. 63 caps for Dempsey, many on this ground, of course. So many of the players familiar with the surroundings of Lansdowne Road.
The experienced players are going to need a big one. O'Driscoll's experience needed because Munster have started to the manner born here. They really look comfortable. They're playing very well. A few penalties, but apart from that, they have dominance.
Magnificent of the line out from O'Connell. Again, setting the mark for his side. Man of the match against Perpignan, scored a try in that match. The forward of the season, really, since he got over his injury problems and Lions hangover. And greatness awaits that man, you feel, as well. Paul O'Connell. Good kick.
Well, Paul O'Connell, 3 games in the Heineken Cup, and he's lifted Munster. In those 3 games, he's averaged 9 line-out wins a game. He's carried 8 times, and he's going to blow those stats apart today. That was a great kick from O'Gara. That was brave to go for the corner. He took the risk. And Munster are turning an early screw.
It is all Munster so far. It's O'Connell's again. And now can they produce one of their famous drives? Leinster and their pack have taken a beating in the build-up to this match. That would have fired them up. But can they do anything about Munster? Can they do anything about this pack? No, they can't.
Is it Anthony Foley, the inspirational leader, the man of Munster? Leinster are rocking. The Munster pack, fired by O'Connell, firing with men like Flannery, are taking early control. The try has been given. Foley hits the line. It's Leamy, is it there?
Leamy scores the try. Dennis Leamy is the try scorer, coming through the middle there. Magnificent work from the Munster forwards. They just cannot be stopped when they're in that mood.
Well, Mars, the problem for Leinster is O'Connell is reigning supreme. He's taken a couple of line-out throws that have looked slightly nervous from Flannery, but he's just plucked them in when he felt they were leaving him. And his big mitts at the moment are the dominant features of this game.
Look at that. There is a certainty about O'Gara today. There is a certainty about Munster. Just watch this forward effort. It is like lava running down a volcano.
That's just magnificent from Paul O'Connell. Such timing and athleticism from the big man there. He's giving his men the lead. He's not the captain, but he is the foundation of this team.
Houston takes. Leinster can't get their hands on the ball. 10 minutes gone, 10 points on the board to Munster. Stringer wants it quickly and has it. Halstead again, bouncing off Shane Horgan. O'Driscoll and Gleeson are there to try and rip it back on the Leinster side, but it won't come. Stringer, Dowling chasing, Payne is chasing, Dempsey puts on the accelerator, but Leamy, the try scorer, is there to make a tackle. Horgan feeds. And Hickey away, the emergency fullback. But Munster will throw in.
A blistering start from Munster. They are just hunting down Leinster. The forward surging and the chips of Stringer. O'Gara's control. It's very impressive. O'Gara's kick there was a case of been there, seen it, done it. And you feel with Stringer, he's come through his injury, or at least Munster are hoping he'll last most of this game. And the half-backs behind a pack that's surging forward are in control. See, Horgan, so often when he made those hits against Toulouse, the Frenchman will rock backwards. But not today.
Problems here for John Kelly and Munster. Rob Henderson is the replacement. And a shame to leave a player so early in the match. Such an important match. That's a bitter blow for Kelly. Rob Henderson, another man with plenty of experience though, started the final against Leicester in Cardiff in 2002. Of course, a Lion the year before that. Flannery throws. 2 taps back, but they both work. O'Gara's going for a drop goal. Mark is called by Dempsey. And he has a chance just to calm it down for Leinster. But they need more than that. They need to get out of their own half. They need a position in the field from which they can start to operate and play the rugby that they wanted to play in this match. It is being denied to them so clinically by Munster so far.
Well, it's a whirlwind in terms of intensity from Munster, but what's impressive is the sheer control. That's 5 at least for O'Connell.
O'Gara, here comes Henderson, first touch, not a bad one, on that familiar crash ball of his. Leinster have got turnover ball maybe. Yes, they have. And Hickey's going against O'Connell, should win that race and does. Oh, Hickey! Flag up, flag up. And there we hear the Leinster roar for the first time here in Dublin. Their support has given reasons to cheer, nearly cheering Hickey all the way.
Sean Payne just does enough. It was almost Toulouse again. Hickey racing out from deep in his own left-hand corner. Payne with the important touch, but a first sighting for the Leinster backs.
O'Callaghan, another good piece of line-out ball for Munster to feed off. Halstead, here comes Payne now, the attacker, having defended brilliantly. Dowling. Stringer. Oh, look at this. Look at Foley on that ball. As flat as he could be. O'Gara again. Leamy again.
Power from the pack here.
Stringer. O'Connell.
Nice, okay.
Stringer again. Flannery. Flying in was Malcolm O'Kelly. Penalty Leinster. Contepomi wants to take it quickly. He was running across there, knowing that Leinster have got to start to set their own pace. And he's got another 10 metres now. But Contepomi is going, and it's for Hickey again. And Anthony Horgan will be told by those supporters that Hickey is all over him. Hickey's got him! Horgan tries to get back on his feet. That's good strength. O'Gara, little show. Now he's going. This is wonderful rugby.
Great stuff from both number 10s.
Stringer. Oh, he winces as he slices that. Rare mistake from his side. Great vision from Contepomi. Great speed from Hickey.
Beauty of the match is why we've been looking forward to this for so long. O'Gara does brilliantly because the vision from Contepomi to tap and kick is superb, and then the opposite fly half taunted because he's not a runner like Contepomi, dances out of problems. But everything you wanted to see there, the Munster pack dominating, keeping their nerve on the counter, but the quick-wittedness, first on the left flank of Hickey and then Contepomi. You noticed there Jerry Flannery as well, Miles, when the penalty was given, did not let go of the ball, and yes, there was 10 metres, but Toulouse let it go. Leinster tapped and went, and they tore them to pieces. Munster, with all their experience, will not let Michael Checker's men tap and go at will. They will give 10 metres up. They will not give try-scoring opportunities as easily as that.
Reggie Corrigan in the thick of it there, talking with scrum half Guy East to be Will Green on the left of the screen, winner with London Wasps of this competition, and also winner here in that semi-final against Munster. Declan Kidney, as he returned to Munster to take them to the final this year. It would be their 3rd final, and as we all know, yet to get their hands on the trophy. Brian Blaney.
Okay.
Jowett went up. Munster forced back though by Leinster round on the peel. Contepomi, another switching play, but he's overplayed that by quite some and offers his apologising hand to his winger Hickey. That was not meant to happen in that way, was it?
No, that's a hook by Contepomi. He's going to bring on Leamy and Wallace, who will challenge him. And he was just saying, I'll accept that and I'll chip behind and find space. You expect me to run, I'll vary my game. But the variation was poor there, unlike another brilliant line-out.
O'Gara kicks over the top of Horgan. Wonders where it is. Well, doesn't have to worry about playing it, nor does Dempsey. Leinster to throw into the line-out, but O'Gara seems to be right on the money today.
If you were a Munster forward, you would have a warm feeling in your gut right now, because Ronan O'Gara is putting them where they want to be all the time. Shane Horgan, Dennis Hickey, Gervin Dempsey, all teammates for Ireland, but at the moment they cannot stop O'Gara's kicking game, putting Munster where they need to be.
Blaney throws O'Callaghan nearly across there.
And that is over.
Heaslip comes churning out the side and then rejoins straight away.
Don't play well.
Guy Easterby losing semi-finals with Llanelli a few years ago. Horgan with the palm back. Here's Flannery, Ireland's hooker, 6 caps now. Stringer and O'Gara, Ireland's half-backs. Well, this is Dempsey running onto that at pace. Hickey, this is the kind of ball that Leinster feed off.
Back feet.
Easterby starting to get into their game now, Leinster.
Advantage.
Referee playing advantage. Man being taken without the ball. You may have heard Joel Hughes explains. Here's Gordon Darcy to Malcolm O'Kelly, back for the penalty.
Early tackle. He has the ball. Early tackle.
Incredible start to this match. Yeah, a wonderful start for Munster. O'Gara kicking beautifully, but this time, for the first time as he goes long, you'll see that Gervin Dempsey, if we freeze it now, has got himself in a superb position, because he has just drifted across the field, and that's why Leinster were able to get the penalty and get the territory.
It is amazing to think that both of these sides lost their opening games in the tournament. Seems a long time ago now. Just shows you how teams can evolve within a season.
Yeah, it's not a sprint, is it? It's a real slog. Sale looked so good against Munster day one, but Munster have just galvanised and gathered themselves.
Bath, who beat Leinster, have gone. And this is Heaslip, and that was a good line. He managed to change his direction so well there. Such a big man, but you wouldn't have known it from the agility with the exhibited. Now Contepomi needs to try and free that ball and get it back to his side if he can in the tackle. Penalty, very kickable. Meanwhile, there's an injured player on the floor just outside the Munster 22, and the game will have to stop for this. It looks like a...
Will Green.
Oh no, Will Green's getting back on his feet. Thought he might have been knocked out. May have been momentarily. The medical staff will check on that.
That's ferocious, isn't it? Contepomi, when he went in field there, challenged Davy Wallace and Paul O'Connell, and you could almost hear the collision. But he's a very brave player, the Argentinian. He hasn't started anything like as well as Ronan O'Gara, but he will not stop trying. There you can see he wrestled his way through O'Connell and Wallace to keep the momentum, and he earns his team a penalty. And really, after the first quarter of this game, it is a penalty Leinster need. 10-3, with the ability they've got to strike from anywhere, is no sort of deficit. But the problem is, Munster have started so well, the self-belief will be flowing from their rivals.
Contepomi, is he to continue his scoring streak? Yes, he is. Well, it's on the board. And for Leinster, that's all that matters. Michael Checker will nod of confirmation that Leinster got that storm weathered just for now.
There's a case of anyway, anyhow. That is not the most convincing strike from Contepomi, and I think it reflects on the nervousness of Leinster. But They're on the board, as you say.
Taken by Heaslip.
Away, six away. Okay.
Easterby. Contepomi. Darcy finding himself as the winger, and who was there but Pucciarello. Then Darcy throws the ball at him, and of course Pucciarello's Munster colleagues will not react well to that. Gordon Darcy, such a fine player, and a great combination over the years. It has been Darcy and O'Driscoll complementing each other.
They have, but they're certainly hassled at the moment. And Munster reacted brilliantly to that little throw from Darcy because they actually did nothing. Great discipline. They've seemed very focused. Oh, O'Connell again taken in the air.
So dangerous play at the line out from Leinster. And no sooner have they got the 3 points from Contepomi. Here comes O'Gara again. More O'Connell ball. Five takes, one steal.
Yeah, Jowett was the man there behind him, had just decided enough's enough, you've got to stop O'Connell. He started this game 6'5", at the moment he's about 7'2", and he's growing by the minute. And if he keeps growing that way, then Leinster ain't going to be seeing the light of Cardiff. He is huge at the moment. Very happy with that one. In some ways, apart from the catch for the try, that's his best one yet, because it should be 3 points from Ronan O'Gara, who is coolness personified.
It looks simple for Contepomi, it looks simple for O'Gara, but of course the stakes are so high today. The stakes might be high, but Ronan O'Gara looks as if he's going to rise to the challenge. The 10-point gap is there again for Munster. Contepomi, that's never going 10 metres, struggles to get 5.
Well, now, Miles, we've had a hooked kick into touch. We've had a penalty from in front of the sticks that got over but was horribly struck, and then that restart. Contepomi was the catalyst. When they won the game, they had to win in Bath. He was mercurial against Toulouse away, but at the moment in the Battle of Tens, O'Gara looks like he's the one up for this, and Contepomi is very nervous.
So often the case in rugby that the tens will tell you exactly how the game is going, where they're standing, exactly where they're kicking the ball. It is the barometer of the match. The fly half, and at the moment O'Gara is hot and Contepomi is decidedly stormy, and that is another beautiful piece of play.
Turbulent times for Leinster. Ronan O'Gara has been serene in the first 23 minutes. Leinster can't get near him. Contepomi up for the chase. Gleeson is at the moment playing in a different county. He's dropped deep. He's playing territory. He's playing possession. He's playing O'Connell to put the hassle on. Tactically, Declan Kidney's team have made a magnificent start.
Blaney to Bryce Williams, the New Zealand Maori, ex-Auckland man, unsung hero in this Leinster pack.
Yeah.
Easterby looks as if he's going to take this on himself. He is. Joel Hughes analyses that, says that he didn't see what Munster are claiming. Leinster ball in the scrum.
Defence solid there from Munster. Easterby, though, it's good to see he's trying to vary the game. Leinster not afraid to try and keep it in hand, but look at that scrum.
And Heaslip coming away from his position of number 8 and getting into midfield. That was good work from him. Contepomi,
kick again.
Caught that terribly. It's inviting Horgan to run back. Anthony Horgan, man who's come into this side with the loss of Murphy in the centre, and Kelly, the man who's gone off, initially moving into 13. Henderson now on for Kelly. It was Anthony Foley's run. This is Stringer's kick. Interesting bounce here for Easterby. That's a horrible one. That's horrible.
Stringer, O'Gara, they are like puppeteers at the moment. given the opportunity. This is a lovely kick from Stringer, isn't it? Easterby saying, get the hell out of play. It won't, and Horgan and Payne are putting massive pressure on. The chasing's good, the kicking's excellent. It does sound like Toman a little bit.
Flannery missed his man this time. Gleeson couldn't take the ball at the tail, but it's still good ball. That's a fine pick-up from Horgan. Contepomi's pass, not the most convincing one. Flannery trying to get back to make the tackle on Heasley. It's very elusive when he runs with the ball, and emphasise that point again, just how big he is. Here's a big winger in Horgan, out to the other wide man. He speeds to Hickey. Interesting bounce now for Payne to have to deal with. Well played Holston and Anthony Horgan. Here's Payne again, who's had a majestic afternoon so far. Meanwhile, there's a little scrap on this near side, which the touch judge has stepped in to sort out, but O'Driscoll has his thoughts on jinking his way past the Munster tacklers and keeping the attack going. Penny's dropped now for the rest of the players. They all need to be involved, either as attackers and defenders, and the referee is involved as well to give the penalty.
That's the first moment from Brian O'Driscoll. Touch judge is going to explain what's going on. It wasn't pretty.
10.
Leinster certainly will hope that this is not going to be reversed here. Was way back down, 50 metres away the other side of the park. Let's hear what the officials are going to say here.
Le 6 est retenu là-bas par... Ils le tiennent, par le 11 bleu.
Le 11 bleu ou le 11 rouge?
Non, le 6
oui.
rouge est retenu par le 11 bleu.
Oui.
Il y a
6 red is Dennis Leamy.
Au départ, c'est le 11 qui fout le 11 bleu.
Le 11 bleu. Est-ce que je dois le prendre?
11 blue is Dennis Hickey.
À quel endroit est la pénalité?
I'm not sure it was Hickey.
Against 11 blue. Captain.
I think we've got the number wrong here.
Stop. No, stop.
It's Contepomi, isn't it?
It is, not Hickey. Hickey was on the other side of the field.
It's a penalty. He talked too much. It's a penalty against the number 11 blue for tackle with the ball.
Well, this is very important, you know. This is a significant moment in the game. That's a kick for 13-6. The penalty goes against Contepomi, who is rattled. You just heard Hughes say he's talking too much. He was talking about Contepomi. 3-13 could become 3-16, and O'Driscoll's got to calm his fly half down.
Open your arms, you know that.
And Brian O'Driscoll doesn't care less about the mistake made by the official on the number. O'Driscoll knows exactly who gave the penalty away. George Hughes made that clear to him. And Contepomi, as you say, Stuart, has got to put that brain back in the fridge, hasn't he?
Thanks.
Yeah. The fly half's got to be cool. I mean, he's got this excitable temperament that makes him such a brilliant player when he's going well. Contepomi clearly on top, just trying to muscle his way literally back into the game. It should have been a kick for 6-13. It's one for 3-16. What a swing if this goes over.
Which it does. Ronan O'Gara determined to carve his name into the history of Munster with a performance to remember today. It's already there in so many ways, but these men know that greatness awaits at a provincial level if they go on to win this trophy.
He's playing beautifully at the moment, O'Gara. Stringer to his Irish international mate. And Leinster will want to start running these balls back.
O'Gara's pushing Hickey right back, isn't he, to have to take those. But Hickey, with all his experience and speed, was able to get there. And it's a good kick as well. Dempsey's gone chasing. And that is the Munster 22. We haven't seen too much of it so far. Gleeson. Penalty Leinster. Talk about tit for tat.
Contepomi has to kick this one now. He's been too agitated. He needs to kick the 3 points. It's an offside on the 22. Hughes has the marking of that line to make an easy decision. and the crowd booing. I think it's the Munster fans booing the decision not to go for the corner. But it's the right decision. 50 minutes to go, 6:16 with Leinster's backs is attainable. I just think this is an important kick for Contepomi. You feel it's not going his way yet.
Well, there's plenty of atmosphere for Contepomi to deal with. Again, you normally expect to get this virtually every time. This is not any old day, though. Well, there you go. Can't say it wasn't on the cards. And now those cheers from the Munster fans have turned to hideous cheers for Contepomi.
Just had that feeling. The last kick that went over intimated there are problems in the head of Contepomi. He has to get his act together in the next 10 minutes.
Dowling. O'Gara deep in the pocket as he could be. Right down amongst a small change there, Ronan O'Gara.
Miles, it's almost as if the huge amount of eulogistic praise Contepomi has received in Ireland and Britain since that performance against Toulouse has ruffled O'Gara, and he's just going to say, hold on a minute, I got all the caps, I'm the Prince of Ireland at 10s, I'm going to make a point. And right now he's doing just that.
Easterby, Contepomi would be relieved to take that one. He slipped the man to carry over the gain line. Hands in there from Munster, and they were warned. Will Green, who seems to have got over his knock. Easterby trying to find the pace, but once again the space that is there lasts for a split second. It's immediately cut out.
The close, Halstead and Henderson come up very quick in that outside channel, and they're stopping Leinster getting wide where they're good.
Darcy trying to work something, first of all with a handoff. It's a pretty strong one as well. On Rob Henderson. Kelly was the decoy, it's Gleeson, and Pucciarello, well, he was seen off. But it was quite a contest. Easterby is taking the quick tap. They've turned down any chance of a long-range penalty. Contepomi may be relieved by that. He gets flattened. Blaney is tackled as well. Easterby again, as if now Leinster have decided that they are going to give it a thrash and try and move it through the hands. But it's Munster turnover ball, and through the halfbacks quickly to Leamy, and he's kicked. But the referee says he's gone forward. Touch judge helped him.
Forward.
I think that looked almost panicky from Leinster there. Really frenetic. That is a forward pass there. But you notice as soon as the ball turned over, Munster thinking, hey, we can play from anywhere. Defensively, they're on top. And Leinster are sending out all the wrong mental signals to their opponents here. They're telling Munster, we are rattled. And Munster's big men are rising to the occasion. And Checker has a very, very substantial half-time team talk along with Dave Knox to give his team. They played at pace against Toulouse, but there was control at the moment. It's all too frenetic, and at the contact point, Munster are muscling better.
No, please listen to me. It will be a yellow card.
Reggie Corrigan, the man who is packing down against John Hayes. John Hayes, in fact, the latest player to get a bit of treatment out there. What is a bruising encounter. Declan Kidney knew it was going to be. Here's Hayes, another one of the Munster players who's been through this before, and it shows in this first half. Leinster with two previous semi-finals, one way back in the mid-90s, the first year of the competition, and then that loss here to Perpignan in 2003, a game they still feel that they should have won, and in many ways they should have won on that day. But it's Munster with bags of experience in comparison in the knockout stages. Here's Easterby, here's Contepomi and O'Driscoll. It needs a touch of brilliance from him. And it's over the top of Hickey, and it's another signal, isn't it, when O'Driscoll starts to pass like that, or the communication is wrong between the likes of O'Driscoll and Hickey.
Yeah, when the main man starts firing out dreadful passes, Munster will just grow. It's almost the equivalent of a man in red making a bone-crunching tackle, the way O'Driscoll just gave that ball away. And it's Jerry Flannery, all fiery passion on top, and Brian O'Driscoll, he's caught up in the malaise at the moment, and one man above all, O'Connell, dominates.
A strong run from Anthony Foley. O'Gara didn't catch that one, and that's where Hickey wants it. Straight into the basket. And from quite a forward position as well. Launches Leinster into a possible attack, but Horgan's picked up by Wallace. All friendships, national friendships, put to one side today. Contepomi, that's better from him, but he just can't take it. And it seems that nothing will go right for the Argentinian fly half.
No, but that's something for him to clutch at there, because that was a very cleverly executed kick. He found some space, he got behind Munster, and he just overruns it, but that's close, and that was pretty good play. It did go forward, but at least there was something there for Contepomi. You think, yeah, it can happen.
Mistake by Stringer. Picked up by Payne, who's been immense in this first half, coming forward from full-back, and the hands are brilliant there to see the ball onto Foley, who gallops over halfway. Here comes Flannery at pace. Henderson's got it now, trying to straighten, tells Flannery to go back inside. He's got the ball and he's back on his feet. He wasn't held. Stringer, O'Gara, Donacrow Callaghan. Stringer once more, O'Gara again, Payne, Wallace, Foley. And then the penalty to Leinster, and Will Green going in on Stringer after the whistle had gone right in front of the referee, Joel Juge. It doesn't look like he's going to reverse the decision for that.
No, we have a problem here. We have a problem here.
Miles, this attack comes from the fact the man on the left, Sean Payne, is going to attack the spotlighted man with the red arrow going through him, Keith Gleeson, the man who didn't miss a tackle against Toulouse. Leinster have got a chance here to impose some pressure, and Gleeson is just left for dead by the South African, and then the offload, and look at that out of the tackle there, and Foley is through, and in the end it comes to nothing, but another sign that the men who delivered in South France at the moment are not doing that, and that's why we ended up with that exciting attack with Flannery and Henderson causing no end of problems.
Keith Gleeson played his last test in 2004. It's just that Ireland are so spoilt for choice in that position. What with Wallace and Gleeson on the field today, the likes of Johnny O'Connor hovering around as well.
I think O'Connor's a very good player, but to my mind, I think Wallace and Gleeson are just a little cut above, and I think Gleeson's unlucky not to be a bit nearer, but he won't get there if he misses fullbacks.
Can Leinster steal something just before half-time to give this game a very different complexion at the interval, and certainly give them a lift before they disappear down the tunnel? That's wonderful from O'Driscoll. Hickey brought play infield with that kick. Dowling scurries across, and then we'll see his power. Look at the strong legs. May not be the tallest, but that has been a feature of Dowling's season, the way he's managed to see off the tackles. And Payne with that boot. Payne with that boot. Exactly that.
Super play. Payne's having a marvellous game. A moment of pure magic handling-wise from Brian O'Driscoll. That's wonderful, but, well, that's ball through the legs there. But Leinster make 50 metres, and as we've seen Horgan bounce off the tackle of Hickey and prevent them being pinned in. There you can see Hickey yet again is not able to make the tackle as Dowling spins his way out. When Leinster are getting the chase on, they're not making the chase successful, and Munster are running their way out.
Deemed to be a shove there by Heaslip at the line out. Penalty. Oh, Foley can't wait to go across to the referee, and O'Gara can't wait to get his hands on the ball. Could it be Munster to score just before half-time again? And now it is going to be
the posts
a long way back, isn't it, Stuart, if Munster get this?
Well, the posts are looking so wide for Ronan O'Gara at the moment. He's just struck everything through the middle. And 3-19, 2 converted scores plus a penalty. It's a huge margin. And I think Munster came on. I saw them with Dowie when they came off that bus in Newton, and they looked focused, they looked calm, they looked controlled. They said they hadn't left it on the training field. But I don't think Declan Kidney could believe that if this kick goes over, they would have a 16-point lead at half-time. That is beyond their wildest dreams.
What was that comment Munster made to us as they came off the bus? We're up for it. Yes. But this time the flags do not go up for Ronan O'Gara, so it stays at 16-3. And while it's round about that mark, especially for a side like Leinster, who can strike from anywhere in the field,
oh yeah,
it is just about manageable, even in a semi-final. Things can change quickly. Here's Leamy under this one. Safe catch. Had time. O'Gara. Good pass. Forward, says the referee.
Ronan O'Gara wasn't happy, and I must admit, when I saw it first of all, I wasn't certain myself. But it's a quick call, and they're using the halfway line, so no argument there. Just frustration from O'Gara, because he knew how important that kick would have been.
The referee did have the white line to work with.
Yeah.
He's pretty sure in his own mind. Jean Juge has, of course, a great reputation for being a fine referee. He's also got this reputation for letting sides scrum.
Yes, it's part of his French upbringing. It's a battle there. It's not a means of restart. It's a spiritual part of the game. And frankly, at the moment, in that area at the moment, all the spirits coming from the men in red. Pucciarello, you know, he's played really well in for Marcus Horan. He's been making his tackles. He's been strumming well. Big pressure.
Contepomi to O'Driscoll. And they cling on to his legs. O'Gara was the man who in the end brought him down by just refusing to let go. Easterby. Contepomi. It's Dowling watching it and putting it down. In the end, for a 22 dropout, that is half-time. Munster will leave to a great round of applause from their supporters. It is predominantly red so far. Leinster have a lot of thinking to do.
Red alert for Leinster, because the big men of Munster are performing in the semi-final. Nobody bigger than Paul O'Connell. He's come in with a huge reputation. He is towering in this first half. Ronan O'Gara controlling with Stringer. Leinster are not out of this. They've got too much class for that. But O'Gara and his men are in a very strong position here.
Times in that first half, as Leinster start the second, that you just felt that Munster were unstoppable, regardless of the opposition. You even found yourself having fanciful thoughts that if the side was wearing all black out there, they'd be struggling at half-time against this Munster side today. Such was the power, such was the purpose. But they have to keep it going, and Leinster now know that that memorable victory in Toulouse will come to nothing if they fail in this semi-final. And the criticisms and jibes from the Munster supporters will be there for years to come. If that is not incentive enough, then I don't know what is.
All over again. It'll be all over again. Munster with their huge contempt for Dublin 4, as they call it. The giant chip that they have used to fuse this mighty rugby province. And at the moment, mentally, it's all their way. Not straight. Blaney, not for the first time. He seems to be feeling the heat again. The lesser names aren't quite doing it for Leinster. The lesser names are doing really well for Munster.
And there is a same name on the replacement bench for Leinster. Another Blaney, of course. Should Brian continue to keep having his problems?
Strong from Halstead, straight through Easterby.
He's had a fine game, Ulster, but then name a Munster player that has not impressed in this match thus far. The look from Leamy, the try scorer, to find O'Gara, then O'Callaghan, who started it all off with that chase at the kick-off. O'Gara again. Rob Henderson.
Jowett
no
now.
lack of weight there from Henderson. Stringer to O'Gara. At the moment it's a fairly narrow game plan, but it's been working so far for Munster. They're keeping it tight, keeping it close to the ruck. Referee finding himself in the way there.
Peter Stringer knew exactly where the referee was. That was a very clever dart. Narrow game plan indeed, but what Munster are also doing is just muscling Leinster, asking questions. There you can see, look at that, Mallow Kelly can't get to him. Joel Hughes is there, he's not going through anyway, but it was a clever snipe and another sign that Stringer's thinking, and that Leinster are on the back foot. Bad start, Jowett, you notice, missed that tackle on Henderson. There are too many first up gain line tackles being missed by the Leinster back row.
He scored 4 tries in the Heineken Cup this season, Cameron Jowett, the highest placed forward in the list, but he hasn't had a sniff today against this Munster side, which has played this, as we say, quite narrow game plan, not to spend it out wide, keep it tight, keep it through the middle, keep it back with the pack, but also organisationally in defence they've looked very impressive as well. And if Leinster are to score tries, they have to look for those moments of genius which can turn games. They have the players to do that, but he's going to test them to the limit.
Well, Munster are playing to their strengths. They will go wide if they feel it's on, but they won't go unduly just to play pretty rugby. And what they're also doing, they are exposing the weaknesses of Leinster. So tactically, it's superb. Rugby's a game of thought, and they're thinking brilliantly here.
Wallace was there, so too Stringer, O'Gara and Halstead, and he's another player that every time threatens to get over the gain line and create that target for the forwards, like Flannery. Stringer again, O'Gara missing out O'Callaghan. This is Payne, who's done nothing wrong in this match, and even then when he was tackled heavily he managed to find the offload. Stringer looks concerned, the ball's not coming back to him. But he needn't worry, he's got the put in.
Great pile driving effort from Brian O'Driscoll, and he's not looking too well at the moment. But as soon as O'Driscoll gets going and starts pumping, there are red shirts there to help their man. They're just getting the numbers there quicker, they're looking sharper, they're looking keener, just looking a more confident team. Cannot afford to lose that man. Just the faintest echoes of the quarter-final last year at the moment, when we came here expecting Leicester to produce a classic, and Leicester just squeezed them out of the game. This Munster pack are squeezing hard, and Leinster can't get in at the moment.
Foley. Stringer. O'Gara. Interesting move coming here. Halstead, nearly through. The threat was there once more. Stringer whips it out to O'Gara. Flannery's lost it. Knock on.
Advantage.
Leinster at least will get the put into the scrum, but when Easterby elected to kick, advantage was called as being over by Joel Hughes. It was a good kick though from Guy Easterby.
Creaking though, weren't they? Leinster's defence tested for the third time in a few minutes by the strength of Halstead. Unfortunately, Jerry Flannery just looks up and he sees the formidable presence of his Irish international mate Shane Horgan. He's not done much wrong. He could have done with taking that pass, but Halstead off O'Driscoll are asking questions of that Leinster midfield, and he's giving a great target for Munster's pack.
O'Connell, a great target at the line out, and Flannery finds him again. Turnover ball as Wallace loses it. O'Driscoll, with the help of Darcy there, looking to snipe quickly. Contepomi, it's on out wide, he goes for the kick, and it's Blaney finding himself in the winger's position who has to chase. Dowling goes back, and now there's a bit of pressure on Jerry Flannery as Leinster look for this first so important score in the second half.
Well, nothing really has gone the Leinster fans or Leinster players' way so far. A turnover and a clever kick from Contepomi puts pressure on Munster. Now, do you go O'Connell? Do you go Foley? Do you go O'Callaghan? It's a great line out. And when the question is the biggest, normally they go to their big man. It's a getaway out of jail easy.
That is a freebie for Munster. Leinster and Michael Checker can't believe it. The free kick was given for the closing of the gap at the line out, and the referee must have issued a warning earlier in the match to go for the whistle there. It was such an important line out, wasn't it, for that kind of decision, but it's a technical offence, and if a side makes that kind of offence, then they run the risk of being penalised for it.
Yeah, and you know, Contepomi is going to kick into the corner. Leinster's line-out has struggled against an imperious Munster one, so they mustn't let Munster have a clean ball with at least not competing. And Blaney's got to start finding his own men here. This line-out's got to function better. Good ball.
Bryce Williams off the top, and then Easterby almost got himself through the middle there, but then discovered that he didn't have any legs to carry him on.
Stay back, stay back. No, stay back, stay back.
Easterby back on his feet. Contepomi, O'Driscoll, Gervin Dempsey, Hickey waits, it's behind him. There's just not the flow to the Leinster backline, and why is that? Well, it is because of the Munster pressure in the tackling, but it's a Leinster penalty.
You cannot play because you are not on the field.
I think Contepomi will probably want to go for the corner. Confidence shaken in the first half. It's within his range, and O'Driscoll could certainly do with something to get them closer.
Captain.
Now
O'Driscoll's gone for the kick. Reggie Corrigan moved in there, Stuart, just to have a word as well. It was certainly debated. Contepomi, O'Driscoll, Corrigan deciding corner or post. They've gone for post.
Good tackle there on Hickey. But that was a deliberate, fairly long debate, and quite often with a kicker, when you have that sort of long discussion, it's a sign that the kicker isn't saying, give me the ball, I'm going to strike this, and the captain's not that confident, and quite often it makes it very difficult for the kicker, and you end up with missed kicks. Leinster need this to be exception to that rule.
Now he's hit the woodwork. It's all going wrong for Contepomi, and even that half-hit clearance from Munster manages to find its way to touch. It set off reasonably well. I think Contepomi initially thought it was over. He turned away quickly, threw the kicking tee to the side, but then had to look back and see the post being rattled and 3 points missed.
Just faded at the last. I mean, we were in a perfect line with that, and it looked till the last metre or two that it was going over, and again Leinster don't get the points, but at least they're getting territory and a bit of possession, and they can try and build their game, but they've lost the line out and regained it.
Managed to burst through to keep that ball. Here's Contepomi. He slipped. Who for a large part of this game has been on the back foot, but he's operated well because of that. That's another penalty for holding on. And Georges Hughes, like all these modern day officials, very quick to blow the whistle for holding on, and I think when you're a neutral at a game, that's exactly what you want to see. It gives it the flow. Good quick ball is what we all want.
That's brilliant work from Jerry Flannery. Absolutely superb. The hooker who's had a good game. As Munster drive that ball down, he got in a great position there, wrapped the man up, and that's when you get the penalty. Superb work.
Very purposeful walk there from the Munster pack to this line-out, since they mean business here. O'Connell. Here comes O'Gara. Then Dowling with that swivel out of the tackle every time.
And again, Gleeson not making the initial hit.
Start to add up, don't they?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Stringer to Wallace.
Munster believe they're going to win this game now. Leinster have to do something to turn this mental mindset round. Munster really are playing like they think we have control. Munster's question now is, do they go for the jugular or do they play almost within themselves thinking we've got control of this match? You can see they believe it is theirs, but Leinster, they have to find the magic to just turn it round. More than any team in Europe, they probably are capable of doing it, but it has to be strong magic right now.
So are Munster Biarritz-like, or are they going to imagine they're at Thomond Park going for the bonus point score? And here's O'Gara. It looks like the latter from the stride there of O'Gara. He was straightening up, wanting his men to get right into action.
Well, infinitely more purposeful than Biarritz yesterday. This is a strong performance.
O'Connell, again, another man that Leinster have been unable to stop. Halstead, ditto for him.
They haven't looked remotely like handling O'Connell.
Anthony Horgan's waiting on this near side, way out right. O'Gara, of course, is a brilliant crossfield kicker, but initially they're keeping it tight. O'Gara in no position to kick there, just challenges the gain line again. Stringer, Dowling. Horgan's moved in again, he's left any possibility of a crossfield kick. It's back to the forwards, it's back to the drive. It led to the only try so far, this kind of forward effort. Will Green on the wrong side, will be cleared out the way. Here comes Dowling, he sets off on that pirouette as soon as he gets the ball. Penalty Leinster. Again, it's for holding on, and it might be on Easterby. Darcy. Hand comes in, maybe from Henderson, was it? Referee has played on anyway. Horgan. Contepomi. Into the sunshine. Here comes Leamy. He's gone for the boot. Gary Owen from Dennis Leamy. Bang! On Easterby.
Big hit, well played Guy Easterby as well.
Darcy. Leinster are definitely looking to see if they can create anything even from this area of the field. They are sizing up the openings.
They're hunting an acceleration of pace, you're right.
Contepomi settling on the long kick. And it's a fine one as well. Maybe that is a sign that Contepomi is starting to at last hit his straps here. There is time for Leinster to turn this around.
Well, that's much better from Leinster because they were probing, they were trying to get quick ball, it wasn't on, and in the end Contepomi said, let's not do anything stupid, let's not force it, let's fire a beautiful cross kick, and he's done that. Now this time Leinster have to compete, and they've got to somehow try and undermine O'Connell, Flannery and co at this line. At Nick one, get themselves a lifeline.
Flannery with that long hold in the throwing position doesn't seem to affect him at all. It's obviously part of his style, and it's a very effective style as well.
And O'Callaghan, a good strong target, tall but also wide, hard man to knock out of the ball, ideal to drive from your own 22. Again, it's not pretty, but this is classic technical rugby from Munster.
And it's the kind of rugby that they wanted to play today, on a day when they've been in the driving seat from the first whistle. Stringer. Shane Horgan just has a glance at Dempsey, and they get in each other's way. Full back and right winger, but it didn't go forward, and now it's Easterby, and he had a chance to move there. Anthony Horgan certainly knew it. He's still calling for support on this side, but Easterby may have missed the boat there. Horgan again. Oh, what a pain. And now Contepomi has to go back. He watches the bounce like a hawk, and then slips it to Shane Horgan, into Anthony Horgan. It's coming out for Pucciarello. He just has to join from the behind the hindmost player, and he nearly didn't there. It would have been offside.
It was great discipline, though, because he wanted to go. He was almost there, and he just pulled away.
Easterby, Hickey, resorting to the kick again. This won't hurt Munster. This is Stringer.
Music.
Anthony Horgan. Classical tackle there from O'Driscoll.
You see Gleeson try and rustle up Stringer off the ball.
O'Gara to Payne. From Halstead to Payne again. Bit of space maybe here now for Dowling to see his paces, but good cover, as you'd expect, from Shane Horgan. One of the best in the competition, one of the best in the world in his position. Munster penalty, though.
Organised and muscular, Munster are still in control of this game. In fact, their control, if anything, is growing. The way that we've seen Horgan, Hickey and co just kicking pretty aimlessly to the likes of Leamy, to the likes of Stringer, allowing Munster to play where and when they want. And now it's like Breeze, as Dowie talked about, so O'Gara doesn't go for goal, but he goes for the corner. And that corner may just be a Leinster jugular.
In the ideal world, O'Gara would have wanted that a little bit closer to the corner flag, but he was determined not to either kick it dead or fail to find the touch. Eric Miller is coming on. Cameron Jowett, I think it's fair to say, hasn't had one of his better days today, and there have been a lot of good days for Jowett this season, but in the Munster back row, he has on this day had his match.
Yeah, and the Munster front five being on the front foot makes it hard for the back row. But there's no doubt at all, 6, 7, 8 has been all red today. Miller will also give Leinster a little bit more variety, a little bit more presence in the line-out where they do need to challenge more. This one, you feel, goes 4 or 5 and the drive comes on.
Flannery O'Connell, we sort of knew that bit.
And the drive.
In a way, we know this bit as well. And once again, pose the question, can Leinster do anything about it? Munster realise a score here, they could be pushing their way into another final. Referee playing advantage. Another penalty.
Now this time I think O'Gara possibly should take on the kick, but the way that O'Connell is ruling at the line-out, the way Munster are rumbling at will, maybe they'll say, let's go into the corner and let's find that jugular. Let's make the blue run red. Let's bury Leinster. This is the moment, Munster, go for it.
It is, for the Munster fans, a popular decision. They believe that Foley and his men have made the right call here. Flannery goes for the tail, and Pucciarello is round very quickly there. O'Connell could almost touch that line now. Leam is in there again. Easterby, the scrum half, pushes him back. It is Stringer, the Munster scrum half, is trying to get himself out of there and can't before the whistle goes, but he will put into this 5-metre scrum.
Well defended Leinster, but that's such a clever line out. All of Lansdowne Road, all of Leinster expected this to go to Connell at the front. It was a peel at the back. Pucciarello almost got there, then O'Connell. Lovely variety, and Flannery had the skill and the confidence of his teammate Anthony Foley to go long on the line.
Stringer feeds. Foley controls. And the front row stand up. Flannery says to the referee, it wasn't my fault. Claims and counterclaims out there.
Flannery's a character, isn't he? He is just full of energy. He's shoving everyone on the Leinster front row. Time off at the moment. It might be time out if the red wave makes about a 5-metre surge. Leinster are defending for their Heineken Cup lives here. Munster are beginning their final push, perhaps, for Cardiff. The Munster supporters call for that heave again.
Stringer is in no rush here. He just wants to see Gleeson away. Loss of the binding there, penalty. Oh, Foley's going! Didn't take the extra scrum. Stringer, O'Connell in that corner again. Another penalty for going to ground, and the cumulative nature of these penalties will make the referee think long and hard. George Hughes was right at the centre of the quarter-final controversy between Leicester and Bath. Those two teams have gone now. George Hughes in the All-Ireland affair has to be on the top of his game again.
It's Eric Miller who just went over the top there. Shane Horgan did absolutely brilliantly just to stand one-on-one with O'Connell until support arrived. But again, this is now rope time. Leinster are on the ropes, and they're not going for the head at the moment. They're just going 1, 2, 3 into the stomach, and Leinster are gasping. They look for the one punch now.
Foley again. On comes the drive again. And Munster know they are in sight of Cardiff here. Leamy. O'Connell. Stringer trying to ease Miller out of the way, and does. Foley once more, stopped by Heaslip. O'Callaghan. It's been knocked forward, and Easterby gets the ball a long way away, and Leinster live to fight another day.
Yeah, they wobbled, but Leinster defended heroically there. Now Munster, we know about their strength, it is through the forwards, but that is their slight weakness. We know Barry Murphy, they don't trust their backs, so you only have the one way of attacking. Leinster knew that, and they defended bravely. You can see Shane Horgan saying, come out, you can only go blindside or nowhere, and in the end it's turnover ball. That is Munster's weakness. Their strength is their pack, but that one-dimensional close-up, well, that was a weakness there. Well done, Leinster.
And now it's scrappy ball at the line-out as well.
The first is blue.
And with a quarter of the game to go,
the first knock on is blue.
Leinster have survived. For now.
That's about the first skirmish, you would say Leinster have definitely won. Still a long way to go, but that will give them some hope.
They did make the knock-on at the line-out, though. That is why Stringer is putting in again.
Shoulders, both sides. No, please. Control.
They simply had to hold out there, though, didn't they? Just wondered maybe O'Gara putting Halstead on an angle there might just have been an option to shock Leinster.
Another free kick, and Foley is off. Easterby, manful effort to stop Foley there. He ran straight into his stomach. O'Gara, Halstead, that has worked well today. There's hardly a mistake between the two.
And Foley's played well this half.
O'Gara caught that time. Has he managed to turn the right way? Yes, he has. There's Payne acting as fly half. And then hitting the ruck. Henderson's dropped back, but it's Stringer kicking with one of those cute little kicks over the top, but too cute. Horgan, the man he had to avoid, was such a tall man, had to get it high and over the top of Shane Horgan, and therefore put too much into the kick.
Horgan read that well. He got back very quickly, and Stringer was forced to just try and drop it on a sixpence, and he couldn't do that. It's been an hour, basically, of Munster. But at 3:16, Leinster have got to believe that they can do this. They have the ability, and maybe, just maybe, they have weathered the biggest storm, and now it'll be a little calmer from Munster, and they have a chance. Munster must think they're almost there, and that just could be the moment for Leinster to strike back.
Miller. Contepomi. Heaslip again, coming from deep. Setting the ball back. Easterby desperately trying to get there in time. Contepomi again. Here comes Dempsey. Darcy had just gone in front of him. Dempsey couldn't pass. Miller. Referee in the way again. He'd be well advised to get out of there. Easterby. That's Bryce Williams.
Henderson's in trouble. His ankle turned. He's hobbling. He's going to have to go.
And Munster already lost John Kelly, remember. Now they do have Thomas O'Leary on the bench, who's very versatile. Gleeson stumbles to try and take it. Easterby, and again, and still Hickey. Here's Contepomi. That is good stepping. Easterby over the top of O'Driscoll. Darcy. You'd expect Leinster to be looking for O'Driscoll at this stage, and O'Driscoll is certainly looking for the ball, rucking that back ferociously. Eric Miller. Penalty. Offside, Munster. Contepomi. Oh, it's a free 3 points if he wanted it, but now they're looking for a score, and it's knocked on. They were looking for a try. Contepomi was. O'Driscoll stands hands on hips.
Well, it's hard to fault Contepomi because in Toulouse and Bath it was his bravery that really galvanised Toulouse. I don't know. Blaney just didn't read that one. He's a gambler by nature, but perhaps he should there, as Bernard Laporte looks on, perhaps he should have taken the 3 points. Quarter of an hour to go, 10 points down. It's makeable because they were just getting into the game, and Munster now say, well, that was your shot. You had your chance and you blew it.
And as predicted, Thomas O'Leary comes on to replace the hobbling Rob Henderson, who certainly didn't let Munster down, and hasn't done over the years. Came on earlier in the match, if you remember, for John Kelly. So Kelly and Henderson gone now. But Thomas O'Leary has been playing out of position. It's hard to know exactly what is his position, though, these days. Winger, centre, or his more normal and preferred scrum half.
Keep your running, use it.
It's Stringer who stays at scrum half, of course. And then it's O'Gara who kicks, and it's Gervin Dempsey somehow manages to keep that ball in. That was brilliant. Hickey to Horgan, back three all involved. Then Horgan looking to use that power that he's famous for, but he didn't release. The Munster players called that to the referee, but to be fair, despite that pressure, Georges Hughes was going to give it. He's given it all afternoon.
Munster so fast in there. Shane Horgan trying to force something, and all he forces is a blast of the whistle. Paul O'Connell, monumental again. Look at that, 6'5". Oh, Miller hits him and he doesn't move an inch. Doesn't move an inch.
You must release the ball. If you haven't support, the fault on the tackle. The man wants the ball, okay? Release the ball. Thank you very much.
Well, you'd think the captains would know. It has been such a regular penalty in this match, and always is with Georges Hughes.
Just some of the support play, especially from Leinster, hasn't been quick enough to really wipe out the man, the defender getting over the ball. He's allowed O'Connell, Flannery, time and again to just form that letter N, and then they've not budged. But I mean, Miller hit O'Connell so hard, and it was as if a gnat hit him.
The Millennium Stadium, normally bathed in red, it's looking very red at the moment in May, what with Biarritz and Munster at this stage on their way, but they're not there yet. And Contepomi is looking to prove that point. Easterby to Darcy, O'Driscoll.
Red!
There's life in Leinster yet.
Blaney.
Red!
Easterby. Gervin Dempsey again. Seen some lovely touches from him today, but
Release red!
not the free running of the fullback or the back three in general from Leinster. It needs to start to happen now before time has run out on them. Easterby, Contepomi, another good step from him. A couple within the last 5 minutes. He's been upended, but somehow he's managed to keep it going for his side. Blaney.
Yeah, O'Connell's tackle on him was a saver.
Easterby. Easterby still. Miller. Darcy. Corrigan. He's lost it, but all is not lost because it's another offside penalty.
Offside position.
Now, had Contepomi taken the 3 points a couple of minutes ago, 6-16 if we'd worked our way back to this scenario, 9-16 they haven't, and they've only got 12 minutes to go, and suddenly 10 points with 12 minutes to go. I don't know, I'd still take the 3 points. The other thing is, it's right in the middle of the pitch, and it doesn't make it that easy to drop it on the money 5 metres out, and you know, they just need something to say we're still in this game. Psychologically, they need a boost as much as anything else.
Corrigan down, so Ronan McCormack will be the man to come on. He is stripped off and waiting if required. So if you take this one, you'd certainly have taken the one before the penalty goal. That's the point, isn't it? Or the 6 points as opposed to 3.
That's how Contepomi plays his game. We hailed him a hero in Toulouse. Goes wrong occasionally.
Well, he's got the 3 points. Reggie Corrigan is being aided from the field. On comes McCormack into the most important 12 minutes or so of rugby of his life. And in the provincial rugby lives of all of these players now. Heineken Cup semi-final. O'Gara's restart.
Great chase, but Munster, well, they'll be disappointed they haven't built on their lead in the first 20 of this half, and now Leinster think we are in this game.
Dowling. Was he checked? He certainly thought he was. Referee says no. Miller. O'Driscoll. Interesting from O'Driscoll, just playing the position. There's no sign of panic from Leinster yet, and nor should there be.
No, they need any sort of score in the next 2 or 3 minutes, and then O'Driscoll's team can launch an assault, and they will wonder whether the muscular power of Munster has sort of peaked. At about 15 minutes ago, you thought they were just going to wipe Leinster away. They didn't get that try in the corner, and Leinster are slowly trying to get back in this game, but O'Connell will have none of it. He is immense today.
Stringer. Blaney nearly effected the charge down there, but didn't. And here's Hickey to Dempsey and Horgan. Darcy. The red line up very quickly. For all Munster's experience in this competition, they've had their nearly moments and so many as well, and the anxiety will build for them if Leinster get another score here. Shane Horgan out to Eric Miller, who's added some real impact. Oh, Blaney's going, looking for Heaslip, and had Heaslip taken that, he would have taken some stopping, because he is a quick man.
Oh, Brian Blaney, it was a wonderful line off Eric Miller. Cut's beautiful, but this is terrible. This is panicky. He's just thrown that one blind. He had a position. It was a wonderful line from the hooker. Miller just faded off and gave the pass. He didn't give Heaslip a chance there. He would have been in, but it would have been a miracle pass to hit the man.
There are going to be moments, and they have to be seized.
But your hooker going flat out down the left channel, throwing a one-arm ball inside. I'm sorry, those are odds that even as a gambler you don't take. That was establish your territory. That was not a try-scoring chance, and that was a bit of a blow there. And the Munster pack will be very happy for another scrum.
I just wonder whether they should have taken a scrum when they went for the line out in the corner, although of course the drive was going so well for them and had produced indeed the only try of the match so far. But these are the decisions that the players are faced with out there. O'Gara doing enough to find his touch. Hickey thinks about it, but who's there? Peter Stringer, no sign, as we said earlier, of any injury that he's carried into this match. Declan Kidney saying that he had to get through the warm-up to prove his fitness. Well, Stringer is surviving the whole of the game.
He's had a lovely game, Peter Stringer. Dowie's been really impressed with his form the last couple of months. You can see why. He's been really sharp. He's not been making breaks, but his chips are good, and he's given O'Gara plenty of time. And that is surely not straight. Given.
It didn't look straight. I totally agree. Georges took a long, hard look at it, but he decided that Blaney, that was one that he's allowed to get away with, could prove to be very important. This Easterby. Here comes Dempsey. It's only Hickey on this side against 4 or 5 covering potential tacklers for Munster. Now Leinster start to flood it with numbers on this side, and again it's Contepomi, and again he's looked threatening. Again it leads to a penalty.
Now this must be a kick that Contepomi will take. It might just be a yellow as well. Persistent warnings.
Against you. Two offside position and another penalty against you. 2 minutes for it.
Federico Pucciarello is going into the sin bin. Leinster have a chance if they choose to go for the post to reduce the gap to a try and a conversion, and they will be superior in numbers.
Now this kick has to go. Contepomi came very late on the short side, which gave a chance. And look at his left hand there. He's about to tap Brian O'Driscoll and say, Brian, we're going. And it's late and it's a warning. Watch this now. Little tap, and then O'Driscoll knows. Horgan goes, and suddenly there's 3 men flooding the blind side, and they're attacking there, and Contepomi and O'Driscoll almost through.
This is the kick to get Leinster within striking distance. And it stays wide to the right, and it could also be the kick from Felipe Contepomi that sees Munster through to the final. We shall see, but it was the ultimate in the critical kick in this match. It was the big one, and Contepomi failed.
I just watched the Munster end when that kick went to the right, and the flags, the red flags were blowing. Munster think that's the kick that has won them the game, the missed kick from Leinster.
O'Gara. Halstead again, solid as a rock today. Anthony Horgan. Halstead just wasn't able to turn and get inside to support him, otherwise he might have been away. Though Hickey was tracking back. Here comes Paul O'Connell. What a match.
Elemental.
What a player.
Him and O'Callaghan together. What a second row they are.
This will be a scrum, so we'll need the extra prop.
Be careful.
Somebody will have to go off for
I think it's accidental.
Frank Roach to come on.
Be careful.
Remember, Pucciarello is in the sin bin. Munster a man down through until just about the end of this game.
Time off.
Anthony Foley is going to be the man given a rest. O'Connell, such a leadership figure anyway,
Time on.
will be entrusted with taking charge of the troops.
Foley's got a bit more mileage on the clock than Dave Wallace and Leamy, and so take him off. He's played very well, though, the captain. He's a real institution in Limerick. Great hero in that area. Still pretty sore that he's not in the Irish team, but he's had a fine game.
And is he the man who will be lifting the Heineken Cup in Cardiff? Oh, good pass from O'Gara to Payne. Payne to Dowling again. And once more he's out of that first tackle. How many times have we seen it? Not just in this match, but all the way through the season. Halstead. That's good strength from the Springbok.
Back.
Stringer. Thomas O'Leary.
On the feet. No.
A 10-point gap with time running out on Leinster. Stringer again. O'Gara again. Oh, handoff! O'Gara! It surely will be the final for Munster. Lansdowne Road has gone red again. Red is for passion, and red is for Munster.
Magpie just gone on the pitch. Sorrow for Leinster, glory for Munster. Mal O'Kelly, anonymous, fended off by Ronan O'Gara. It's been O'Connell who has destroyed his Ireland teammate around the park. O'Gara has benefited, and now O'Kelly has the indignity of the fly-half saying, out of my way, Leinster, we're going to Cardiff, you're going home. It's glory for Munster. Dowie said if they lost they could go north, east, west, anywhere but south and home. They could travel back to Limerick in glory and then onwards to Cardiff. That is it.
Scenes of absolute unmitigated joy here. O'Gara kicks his own try, is added to with the conversion attempt from the most simple of positions. And those Munster fans now know that they can celebrate in the Lansdowne Road sunshine, in Leinster's backyard. They can celebrate a third Heineken Cup final. 23-6 is the score.
And of all the semi-final wins, this is the one that will mean most. Leinster won't give up, but they have been outplayed.
Stringer with the kick. And what a performance it has been from those Munster halfbacks. The experience has told. Stringer and O'Gara.
Yeah, they've been on the front foot. The Munster pack have been in control. It's been a tactical masterpiece from Munster. They've got their 2 tries. If there is any question mark, it's the fact it took them so long to close this game down. They do need a little bit more variety, but against a Biarritz team who play with little themselves, I've seen enough today to think Munster will be favourites. On the day, their big men have been dominant, and that has carried them to a comfortable victory. We expected an epic. We've seen a controlled performance from the men from Munster.
Leinster have flickered, but they have never set alight today. Not even O'Driscoll, the man there who carries the ball into contact again, and with a little shake of the head, O'Driscoll on the floor there. Didn't that say it all? And he's got a penalty for his side, but as Gleeson takes it, now Leinster do have a right to panic, because this is panic stations for them.
It's despair time for Leinster, despair.
Interception, Halston! Trevor Halston! Just listen to this! Commitment is guaranteed on days like this, but in this quantity, it's unbelievable, it really is. And Munster, and all their effort and desire, is seeing them there again.
The press defence, and Trevor Halstead, who's done the basics so well, who's been a real target for his forwards, benefits as he lopes in for the try. His Munster mates are going berserk. Flannery and O'Callaghan were dancing with the fans. O'Driscoll, look on, the City Slickers have been sunk without trace. Biarritz will be watching this, and Biarritz know if they are to claim their first European crown, they have got a mountain to climb.
The victory is Munster's. They have everything. Leinster have nothing. That is what today was all about. Munster are going back to Cardiff, the venue for their last attempt to wear the European crown 4 long years ago for them. And after the semi-final here 2 years ago, when we never thought we would witness such scenes again, well, this time for Munster folk, they will remember this day for their jubilation, because they have won. Now the question will be, can they do it in final number 3? Just look at that full-time score for